What's poppin'? Welcome back to the station. Welcome back to the channel. Y'all know who it is, your boy Ray G. You can find me on X at RayGQue. It's time for another 2026 NFL mock draft. This time, I'm going picks 1 through 32 based on the current projected draft order following Thursday Night Football. We saw the Patriots beat the Jets. That moved the Jets draft pick up to number 3 overall. So we got that up. Got the New England Patriots falling all the way back to 32 because they are the only 9-2 team on the season. Depending on when you watch this video, a lot can change. If you watch it on Sunday, then the draft order is shifted. But I want to look at this going into the weekend, talking about some of the high-level college football players that are in this class, where they might slot in, the strengths of this class, the weaknesses, and how to fix some of these damn teams. Based on what we've seen through 10 weeks of the NFL season, we got a good idea of what some of these teams should do or may do for the 2026 season. So we ain't going to play around. We're going to get right into it. Pull up the board. I appreciate you being in, and I ask you to do a couple of things. If you're new to the channel, check out all the other content that we do. We have a good time every time, and the only thing that I ask is you hit the thumbs up button, like the content that you've watched, and if you stick around until the end of the video and you find the information actionable and or entertaining, then subscribe to the channel. Help your boy grow. Help us continue to produce and put out dope content that you enjoy and you love. But let's talk about it. NFL Mock Draft 2026 first round edition. Let's go with Tennessee on the clock at number 1. They're not going to pick a quarterback, okay? As bad as Cam Ward has been, they're not taking a damn quarterback. I know I've seen that around some play. They're not doing that. You got to surround him with some pieces. Unfortunately, this is a draft class where there is not a Will Campbell, Armand Membu level of high-end tackle prospect that you would even consider here at the number 1 pick. So here's probably what would happen. They probably would try to find a partner to move back when you've got some of these QB-needy teams, potentially the Cleveland Browns at 5, the Las Vegas Raiders at 6, the Miami Dolphins at 7. All of those teams, including some of the teams after them, probably need some damn quarterback, right? The Arizona Cardinals, we'll see what they end up doing. There's probably going to be a trade-up spot right here for Tennessee. But if they're forced to make this pick at number 1, then I think they call back to something that they did a long, long time ago, probably before some of y'all have even watching the NFL. But there was a player out of Florida named Javon Curse, the freak, who they drafted at the top of the draft. And I don't know if this is the same caliber of player because he's not traditional edge rusher, but Arvell Reese, the linebacker, which a lot of people think will turn into an edge rusher. And the frequent comparisons that we're hearing right now are to that of Micah Parsons. And if I just told you right now, this linebacker that you're going to be able to transition to the edge is going to be a Micah Parsons level of player, is that caliber of player worthy of the number 1 overall pick? And I think for most people, the answer would be yes. So right here at number 1, we're not going O-line. We're not going cornerback, as the mock draft simulator is saying their positions of need are. They could fill that out in round 2, round 3, and beyond. But right here, you take players that you project to be difference makers at the next level, and Arvell Reese is that player. Pretty much starting to grow as the consensus one of the best players in this draft class. So if Tennessee is forced to pick here at 1, and we've got a lot of time for trades, folks, so don't come flooding the comments. They're going to trade. They would never do that. We've got a lot of months to go to do some of these trades. So let's just pick based on team need and the prospect available on the board. At number 2, the New Orleans Saints are on the clock. Do people think that Tyler Shough is the long-term answer? Who knows? Who knows if he's truly going to be the long-term answer at the quarterback spot for the Saints, but he's probably going to get a shot. Kellen Moore is the head coach. He's played decent the past couple of weeks, so I don't think quarterback is a position of need right now, at least at the number 2 overall spot. Wide receiver, absolutely. Trading Ray, Rashid Shaheed, guard, D-line, and I think D-line is where they would attack. And you've got 2 quality players. Do you want to go interior with Peter Woods out of Clemson? A little bit of a down year for Clemson as a whole, but this is still a very talented interior defender. The interior D-line this year is nice. Let me just throw this up and show some of the names that are on here. Caleb Banks, Christian Miller, Caden McDonald, Amari Washington. These are all like top 50 players according to Dane Brugler. So if you need an interior defensive lineman this year, this is the class to get one. But I think they go off the edge. I think right here at the number 2 spot, Rueben Bain Jr. is on the board, number 1 according to PFF. This is a player who I've seen compared to Brandon Graham, I think, is what Dane Brugler had Rueben Bain compared to, a Brandon Graham level of player. He reminds me, body build wise, and the way that he plays, he's a more explosive version of Courtney Upshaw. If y'all are some Alabama Tide fans, or you just a fan of the game, you remember how dominant Courtney Upshaw was in college. Didn't have that same level of success in the NFL. Bain is 6'3", 275 pounds, so he doesn't fit the mold of a traditional edge. I think right here for New Orleans in this division, you got to get D-line. You got to force pressure. Cam Jordyn, at this stage, right? They've got to find a guy that can be like Cam Jordyn was for the Saints all those years ago. I like Rueben Bain right here at number 2 for the New Orleans Saints. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to lock Bain in at number 2, and now the Jets are on the clock. The Jets are on the clock, and everybody is wondering what they're going to do. And the answer is they got to take a quarterback. They've already sent brass to go look at Fernando Mendoza. Ty Simpson is getting a lot of steam. You've got Dante Moore, and I'm not taking Dante Moore today. I'm just letting y'all know there are already reports and rumors that he's going back to Oregon. I'm not fooling with him in this mock. So this comes down to Ty Simpson versus Fernando Mendoza. I believe that the better fit in New York with Aaron Glenn would be Fernando Mendoza. Outdoors guy, playing at Indiana. He just feels like the type of veteran collegiate quarterback. He's got more starts, played well at Cal, playing very well right now, leading this Indiana team to a college football playoff berth, and probably going to go a deep run in that because they got a dope squad. I think this would be a better fit, would be Fernando Mendoza over Ty Simpson. I just don't know if Aaron Glenn and the way that he coaches wants to deal with a young, 1-year starting quarterback in New York. I think Mendoza would be a better fit. I like the story of his background and Cuban heritage to Miami. I like that story a lot. So this is absolutely a spot where Miami could be like, that's our guy. Jets want to get some more capital, and they say, we'll move back. We'll take a Ty Simpson a little bit later. We got no problem moving back. But right here, for the sake of this mock, I do think that the New York Jets take Fernando Mendoza at 3, putting the Giants on the clock at pick 4. They have got their franchise signal caller of the future. Locked, loaded, signed, sealed, delivered. Jackson Dart is that guy. They're going to have a new head coach here in 2026 with the firing of Brian Daboll. Team needs guard, tackle, and defensive back for the Giants. While I feel this is a little high to take a safety, this is an incredible safety prospect in Caleb Downs out of Ohio State. Depending on what they do with Dexter Lawrence, could they throw a Peter Woods out there? I know Kayvon Thibodeau, there's some talk about him potentially not being back. You've got Keldric Faulk at defensive end, edge rusher, David Bailey, Mansoor, Delane. I think right here, they do not take a wide receiver at 4. They absolutely have to address the position. Luckily for the Giants, it's a great wide receiver class. A lot of good talent in this class all the way down the board. You got Elijah Surratt, 47, Chris Bell, Jeremy Bernard, Omar Cooper, Antonio Williams, Eric Singleton. So you'll be able to find some receivers in round 2 for the Giants. Right here with Neighbors coming back, you've got Theo Johnson, Wan'Dale Robinson, lock him back up. I think the Giants got to go best available, and the best available player on the board is Caleb Downs. Patrol that back end. I still feel it's a little high to take a safety. I know they've got Tyler Nubin, Drew Phillips out there, Carnell Flott, but let's get Caleb Downs. You got your quarterback on offense and Jackson Dart. You got your quarterback on the defensive side of the ball with a strong front 4. I like Caleb Downs in New York. So Downs is going to New York at 4. Leaving the Browns in a spot at 5 where they need a quarterback, they need a receiver, they need a guard, they need a tackle, they need a cornerback, they need damn near everything in Cleveland right now. And I do not believe that at this spot they would take a quarterback. I think, for me, do it right, Cleveland. Just continue to build your team. I don't believe that Dillon Gabriel is the long-term answer, and Shedeur Sanders probably isn't either. But we've seen these teams kind of give these rookies a 1-year window, right? 1-year window, and maybe this is the Dillon Gabriel window. If Stefanski's gone, this could change the math on everything. I think this is the spot. If a team wants a QB, they got to go get it right now. They got to do it right here and right now. I think what probably would happen if they're picking here at 5 and then they commit to one of their younger quarterbacks for a year, or they bring in a veteran quarterback, you've got to find some talent to throw the ball to. You got to find somebody other than Jerry Jeudy and Jamari Thrash and Isaiah Bond. And yes, Harold Fannin is good. David Njoku is what he is. You got to go find a guy that can win on the outside that can go get it. Jordyn Tyson is the best in the class at that. He is the best receiver in this class. This is the #1 wide receiver in 2026. Jordyn Tyson, you are a Cleveland Brown. Raiders at 6. I'm going to make it quick. Ty Simpson is the pick. If he's on the board, I believe the Raiders take Ty Simpson. They run that card to the podium. I've been on record by saying I don't think Dante Moore is going to come out. So when I'm looking at the quarterback class, let's keep it a buck. Dane Brugler, much more accomplished in the draft space than me. I don't understand how the hell he's got Lenore Sellers at 15. Even if you believe in the talent, even if you believe in the skill set, he has not put it on wax this year. Lenore Sellers has not put it on wax this year. Garrett Nussmeier has fallen from the QB1 to the QB get up out of here. So I think Nussmeier, Moore, every QB that you see on the screen right here, right now, Moore, Nussmeier, Sellers, Levitt, Mateer, they all go back to school. They all go back to school. You got 2 first-round quarterbacks, so now you're Miami, and you're thinking, damn, what do? Guard, linebacker, cornerback, all positions of need, wide receiver as well. Not going to take a receiver here, and for the sake of this mock, the strategy around this, or at least the thought process, is Miami has went out and they found a veteran quarterback to come in for Mike McDaniel, for whomever's going to be the coach. McDaniel's playing well, coaching well right now. So at this spot at pick 7, where would the Dolphins go? Do they go edge rusher? Do they go Mansoor Delane? Right here at pick 7, we know they need secondary help in the absolute worst way. They spent a first-round pick last year on interior defensive lineman Kenneth Grant out of Michigan. So Peter Woods is a value that's fallen, and it won't go far. It won't last long because Peter Woods is a great player. But I think right here is where defensive back is probably off of the board, and it's tough for me because Jeremiah McCoy is awesome, but he hadn't played this year at all. Coming off of an ACL tear. I know a lot of people still have him high. It feels very, very risky going for a cornerback coming off of an ACL tear that has not played any football this year. So you're looking at guard, you're looking at receiver for the Dolphins. I do think offensive line potentially is the spot where you've got to go and get some help. You got Spencer Fano out of Utah, Francis Malinoa, Caden Proctor, Jennings Dunker, Caleb Lomu. So there are some very good offensive tackles that may potentially kick in to that guard spot. I think you got to try to protect Tua. We're going to take the best available lineman. We're going to take Spencer Fano right here at 7 and hope that the Miami Dolphins figure out, hey, if he can't play tackle, then we can kick him inside the guard. I do believe that he and Proctor are probably the ones with the 2 biggest upsides. So that's what we're going to do right there. We're going to give Miami an offensive lineman at pick 7. The Commanders are on the clock. Guard, edge rusher, defensive back, positions of need for the Washington Commanders. And I do think that Dan Quinn's going to go get a guy off the edge, somebody that can scream off the edge. David Bailey and Keldric Faulk out of Auburn right there, top 2 players at the spot. I'm good with either or. I'm good with either or. You could sell me on either of these 2 players. Let's see which one kind of fits that Dan Quinn mold. You look at David Bailey and how well he's played, 6'3", 250, and I think Faulk is right around the same. What is he? Yep. 6'6", 285 pounds for him. Let's go with Faulk out of Auburn here for the Commanders at pick 8. They got to be able to get after the quarterback and make life hell for Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott, and now Jackson Dart. You got to deal with him inside the division as well. So Keldric Faulk comes off the board at pick 8 to the Commanders. The Bengals are on the clock at 9. Man, center, guard, and edge rusher here for Cincinnati. Now, they took Shamar Stewart. They took Shamar Stewart. We'll see. They're probably likely going to lose Trey Hendrickson, so I think that is probably a position that they're going to have to attack. Cassius Howell, a little too high. Love me some Sonny Styles. Interior D-line, Peter Woods just feels like a value that continues to fall. So right here, we are going to go David Bailey, back-to-back edge rushers. The Bengals go back to defense here at pick 9 because their defense is awful. So you need to improve your defense, as is the Commanders' defense. Now here at pick 10, The Rams are on the clock. The LA Rams are on the clock at pick 10, and this is just a gift. It's an absolute gift because this was the pick that they traded from the Atlanta Falcons so they could select James Pierce, who's been a really good player for them as well. Pierce and Jalen Walker. But now you got the Rams, who are a Super Bowl contender inside the top 10. And if Atlanta continues to lose, this pick is only going to get better. Where do you go when you've got an embarrassment of riches of picks and your team is already loaded? I want to grab Sonny Styles for him. I want to grab Sonny Styles, this linebacker for the Rams. The positions of need, according to PFF, quarterback, guard, tackle, and cornerback. So right here with the free pick, is this a spot where you take McCoy? Is this a spot where you take McCoy, who was outstanding in his sophomore season? No games played this year. It is a luxury pick. I mean, Jeremiyah Love would be awesome with Sean McVay, but I think this is where they continue to build their team and get better. Their front is good. Let's secure that back end. And I'm going to take Mansoor Delane right here. Mansoor Delane, not McCoy yet. McCoy will come off in round 1, but let's take the cornerback that has his ACL intact right now. So Mansoor Delane going to the Rams. We know they've been looking for cornerback help. What a way to fall into a top 10 cornerback right here by way of the Atlanta Falcons. Arizona's on the clock at 11. Wide receiver, guard, tackle, and linebacker. Positions of need for the Arizona Cardinals. I absolutely think they need another receiver. They need another receiver. It's unfortunate that they spent a top 5 pick on Marvin Harrison Jr. last year, and that has just not worked out. They spent the top pick on Harrison Jr. last year. It has not worked out. Wide receiver, guard, tackle, and linebacker. If they wanted to go linebacker, this would be a spot where Sonny Styles would make a ton of sense for this team. This is where best player available is Peter Woods. They drafted Walter Nolan last year, so I don't think Cardinals fans would want to see that. Guard, tackle, linebacker here. I'm not taking a guard at 11 in this class. I don't know if I would take Vega Ione right here, and I don't know if this is the spot for Francis Mauigoa. Kadyn Proctor absolutely could be in the mix. Protect your quarterback. Receivers a position in need. I think they got to go wide out. I think they have to go wide out, and let's pick a wide receiver that complements the skill sets that they already currently have. They've seemingly been searching for this slot weapon for a while. They used Greg Dortch. They've used some other players. Makai Lemon would be plug and play. Who the hell is going to throw in the ball? I don't know. But Makai Lemon would be plug and play in this offense to complement Marvin Harrison Jr. and Trey McBride. This is my wide receiver 2 in the class. Makai Lemon at 11 to the Arizona Cardinals. So we're at pick 12. My Dallas Cowboys are on the clock, and I'm just letting you know right now, defense, defense, defense. Defense, defense, defense. Sonny Styles is going to be the pick for me. This dude is a goddamn freak. Absolute freak with what he could do. 6'5", 243 pounds. And if you know, the Cowboys have picked some athletically gifted Ohio State linebackers of the past. Bobby Carpenter years ago. I think Sonny Styles is a much better player. Him and Arvell Reese just nasty in the middle for Ohio State. So right here for the Dallas Cowboys, we are going to go linebacker. Pair him up with DeMarvion Overshown. You've got D-line with Quinn Williams there. Yes, tackle is a position in need. Potentially Kadyn Proctor right here. But we're going Sonny Styles. The Baltimore Ravens aren't about to fall into this. No way. Sonny Styles goes to Dallas at pick 12. The Ravens are on the clock at 13. Wide receiver, guard, linebacker, and D-line positions of need. And it seems like this happens every damn year with the Ravens. They get the falling knife. They get the steal. They land Peter Woods. 4 overall on PFF, going 13 to the Ravens. Vikings are on the clock at 14. Running back, center, tackle, and safety positions of need for the Minnesota Vikings. We know they're not going to take a receiver. Center, tackle, they made some offensive line additions going into the season that haven't quite worked out. You did get Donovan Jackson, the guard tackle out of Ohio State last year, and Darisaw. There's not a safety that we're going to take right here this high. If running back really is the position of need, then I guess they could address that right here. But with Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason, I know he's kind of fallen off a little bit, still on the board. It's hard for me to go that position, to go running back right here for the Minnesota Vikings. So if they need a tackle, if they need a center, let's go take a look at the tackle board right now. You got Francis Mauigoa out of Miami, and Kadyn Proctor would probably be the one I would select. So let's take Kadyn Proctor out of Alabama right here, 14 to the Minnesota Vikings. Go protect your franchise quarterback, J.J. McCarthy. The Houston Texans are on the clock at 15. Running back and O-line positions of need. Absolutely need a running back. Absolutely, the RB1 in this class is Jeremiyah Love, but with Woody Marks on the roster, I think their priority is solidify this offensive front. Get a running back in round 2. Get a running back in round 3. You're not a running back away, so let's not do that right now. Francis Mauigoa out of Miami, nasty physical offensive lineman, or you can go Vega Ione out of Penn State, who is also a nasty anchor on the interior of the offensive line. More of a true guard. I like what Ariante Ursari's been doing on the outside, so let's get him. Let's go with Vega Ione right here. Let's go with Vega, an inside interior dude, big, physical, incredible season this year. Let's upgrade that Houston Texans offensive line to make things better for C.J. Stroud. Carolina's on the clock at pick 16, wide receiver, guard, edge rusher, and linebacker, positions of need, and I've seen this one quite a bit with Carolina needing to upgrade their pass catchers, and I'm telling you, they absolutely do. Outside of Tetairoa McMillan, there's nothing else there. No Xavier Legette, no thank you. Jalen Coker's a fun player, but they absolutely need an upgrade here. They can attack the edge, too. You look at the edge rushers that are still available on the board. TJ Parker is right there, but Cassius Howell as well. They can go interior D-line with Caleb Banks, but I think wide receiver would be what they need to do to help out whomever's going to be playing quarterback for them next year, which may or may not be Bryce Young. So here at 16, we're going to go with the wide receiver 3 off of the board. My wide receiver 3 in the class, Carnell Tate out of Ohio State, goes to Carolina to help out that quarterback of the future. Kansas City's on the clock at 17. I don't think they end up here when it's all said and done. I don't believe they end up here when it's all said and done. I think they will be picking much lower than 17, but right now this is where they're at. You are what your record is. Running back, guard, edge, and cornerback available. Let's just give the people what they want. Let's give the people what they want. I can go edge and Cassius Howell. I can go Jermon McCoy, but the Chiefs need a damn running back. You can't, Kareem Hunt's doing everything that he can, but they need a running back. Come on. They need a running back. Jeremiyah Love in Kansas City would break the internet. Absolutely break the internet. Jeremiyah Love goes 17th overall to the Kansas City Chiefs in this mock. The 49ers are on the clock at pick, and they need it. They do need a running back. And I know the last time they took a round 1 running back, Clyde Edwards-Helaire at 32, it didn't work out. But that's because you took Clyde Edwards-Helaire over Jonathan Taylor, over Cam Akers, over J.K. Dobbins' mistake on you buying into that 2019 LSU fluke production from Edwards-Helaire. That was all Joe Burrow, Justin Jefferson, Thad Moss, Jamar Chase and company. Edwards-Helaire was nice in college. He was nice, but shouldn't have been the number 1 running back pick that year by Kansas City. All right, here at pick 18, the San Francisco 49ers on the clock. Edge rusher, they picked Michael Williams last year, ACL. Nick Bosa hurt. They've got to find some replacement and think about the future without Trent Williams at some point in time. You look at the tackles that are on the board right now. Francis Mauigoa, again, I don't know if he's going to play tackle or guard. 6'6", 315. Protect Purdy or go try to get after the quarterback. I think with their investment up front last year, the goal would be to try to find some more offensive linemen, some more protection for your quarterback. So Francis Mauigoa out of Miami comes off the board at 18. Cleveland's on the clock. This is a pick that they got from Jacksonville's trade from Travis Hunter. So this was the pick that they got for Gladstone trading up to get Travis Hunter. The Browns are on the clock at 19, and earlier in the round, they did go Jordan Tyson, so they went wide receiver. We've addressed that. Guard, tackle, and cornerback positions of need. I think if you're going to take a cornerback and you're going to bank on what he can become long-term, if this guy is the guy that everybody says he is, the medicals clear out. At 19, Jermon McCoy, you are a Cleveland Brown. Pittsburgh's on the clock at 20. Quarterback, receiver, tackle, and cornerback, positions of need for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They just got to get younger. They've got to get younger. They need to find another receiver opposite DK Metcalf. The free agent class at the receiver position is not particularly great right now. So when you're looking at a receiver to come in and complement what DK Metcalf does, which is play big on the outside, be that kind of physical outside guy. I honestly think Casey Concepcion out of Texas A&M is the complement that you want. A quick, dynamic receiver that can actually catch the ball, unlike Calvin Austin. Denzel Boston feels like a redundant asset with DK Metcalf. Chris Brazzell II. I'm going to just say this. There's going to be a lot of people skeptical on these Tennessee wide receivers, from Jalen Hyatt to Deontay Thornton to Cedric Tillman. These Josh Heupel wide receivers have not really played out. So I think one of the bigger risers this year playing the SEC, balling out, is Casey Concepcion right here to Pittsburgh. I also love Chris Bell. I think he'd be a great compliment. But let's go Casey Concepcion out of Texas A&M. Goes to Pittsburgh. Dynamic wide receiver, should win quickly. And whoever's throwing the ball, which maybe it's Aaron Rodgers again, has an option and an outlet to get it to quickly. Dallas is back on the clock, 21. This is the pick from the Green Bay Packers in round 1. The Cowboys did take Sonny Styles in round 1 at pick 12, so they went defense, and I still think that is the position they need to attack right here. They need to continue to go and address this defensive unit. Let's look at the interior D linemen. You got Caleb Banks still on the board, Caden McDonald, outstanding. If we go to the edge rushers, Cassius Howell, TJ Parker still on the board, Romello Height still here, Christian Miller, R. Mason Thomas. Good. And then let's just take a look at the tackle positions for the board right now. And the best available one is looking like Jennings Dunker out of Iowa. So we are going to continue to feed the defensive side of the ball. Very, very sad, tragic loss of life with Marshawn Nealon, who was one of the edge rushers. So I do think edge would be a position of need for the Dallas Cowboys. And I just want to change this mentality. With Quinn Williams in the middle, you've got Donovan Ezeraku on the outside. He looks like he's going to be a good player for them down the line. So right here, if it were me, I like Cassius Howell out of Texas A&M. Physical. 11 sacks on the season for Cassius Howell. 6'2", 248, so a little undersized at the position. If you want a little bigger player, Romello Height out of Texas Tech also fits the build. TJ Parker out of Clemson, falling a little bit, still a very good player and a little better versus the run because he's heavier. But I'm going Cassius Howell out of A&M to the Dallas Cowboys. So Dallas in round 1, they went Sonny Styles and Cassius Howell for the Cowboys. Bears are on the clock at 22. Running back, D-line, and linebacker positions of need. Let's go with the best available defensive lineman, interior defensive lineman on the board. Caleb Banks out of Florida. This big boy can play. 6'6", 330. Let's plug it up. We'll find a linebacker in round 2 for the Bears and a running back. Even though I like Kyle Monangas, Swifts play well and Monangas play well. Caleb Banks right here to Chicago at 22. Bills, edge rusher, linebacker, and defensive back. They take the falling player who's incredibly talented, TJ Parker, to Buffalo. They need defensive help in the worst way. Right now, there are some good interior linebackers on the board. So CJ Allen still right there. You've got Whit Weeks a little bit later, around probably a day 2 guy, late day 2 guy. CJ Allen going to be an early day 2 guy. But right here with TJ Parker on the board, I think this would be the play. I think this would be the play with Parker on the board. Christian Miller, I like him as well. We're going TJ Parker, edge rusher, 6th overall according to PFF. Buffalo gets him at 23. Tampa Bay's on the clock at 24. Tight end, guard, edge rusher, and linebacker positions of need. We've seen this Tampa Bay offensive line get beat up, get banged up this year quite a bit. So let's see what we got at the tackle spots. Man, this is tough. Tight end. If they really wanted to get crazy, if this is in Buccaneers fans, if you're in the chat, in the comments, let me know what do you think. I think Cade Otton is fine, but not really a game changer, right? Not truly a game changer here. Linebacker, they can absolutely address that position, which I think is one of need. But if they want a tight end, Kenyon Sadiq is the tight end 1 in this class. Athletic, gifted, fast. needs to not drop the ball so much, but this could be a dynamic space playmaker for Baker Mayfield with Mike Evans getting another year older. If he comes back, Chris Godwin should be back, but another year older. You got to start to develop some other pass catchers around your two young rookies who looks like potentially the future, right, with Emeka Egbuka and Tez Johnson. So let's go back to Oregon. It worked once with Tez. It should work with Kenyon Sadiq here to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Lions are on the clock at 25. Center, tackle, D-line, and cornerback positions of need for the Detroit Lions. I think this is where McDonald comes off the board. This is a very productive player. He's got great size at 6'3", 226 pounds. You just look at his PFF grade here this season, vastly improved from his first 2 years, and he's just a big boy in the middle, showing up when they need him most. I think this would be a spot to upgrade. If that D-line is a problem area for Detroit, I see center and tackle positions of need. It's not a strong tackle class right now. I'm going Caden McDonald out of Ohio State to Detroit here at 25. Chargers are on the clock at 26. Center, guard, edge rusher, and safety positions of need. And if they need an edge, Khalil Mack getting a little bit older. And that offensive line, listen, when you get Alt and Slater back, that will absolutely help. You get Alt and Slate back, that will absolutely help. Let's go attack the edge. Let's go get somebody right here. Romello Height out of Texas Tech, balling this season. 5 sacks, 30 hurries, 10 QB hits, 92.5 grade. Shows up each and every week. Let's get somebody that can go get after it. Romello Height. I think Jim Harbaugh would absolutely love that player as well. Rams are on the clock with their pick. Now, remember, earlier in the draft, they had the Falcons' 10th pick. They took Mansoor Delane out of LSU, the cornerback. And now, here we are with the Rams on the clock at 27. It says guard, tackle, cornerback. We've already addressed the cornerback position. QB, position of need. We're not going to do that. So can we get... I don't know if they need another edge rusher. You got Jennings Dunker, the tackle right here. Or are you just trying to strengthen a strength? Are you trying to strengthen a strength? And their strength is their passing attack. Matthew Stafford looks great. The offensive line is doing a good job right now, holding up, not letting them get hit. Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, but after that, there's not a lot there. And a player who has run a lot of stop routes, a lot of crossing routes, a lot of the similar concepts that are deployed in LA right now. If you don't know the name, get familiar with Chris Bell out of Louisville. Chris Bell out of Louisville is 6'2", 220 pounds. Right now, 80.5 grade. He's got almost 800 receiving yards, 62 receptions, and 6 touchdowns on the season. Screen yards, 14th, slot cat. He could play a lot of different spots. I think putting him next to Puka and Devontae Adams as a wide receiver of the future for this team wouldn't be a bad bet. So we'll get a little fun right here and go with the player that's really rising on my board, and that is Chris Bell out of Louisville at 27. I know Brugler is high on him as well. Denver's on the clock at 28. Running back, tight end, center, and linebacker positions of need for the Denver Broncos. Well, they took R.J. Harvey in round 2, and J.K. Dobbins looks awesome right now, so we are not going to take a running back. Now, tight end is absolutely a position that they can upgrade, but with Kenyon Sadiq off the board, I'm just not taking Max Clare or Michael Trigg just yet. So you start to look around. Best available player, you've got Avion Terrell out here at cornerback, but I do think linebacker at this spot, if you've got a guy at linebacker and there still is a guy at that linebacker spot that you just pull the trigger, C.J. Allen would be the pick for me, not Anthony Hill, who's had a down year. So Denver goes C.J. Allen, linebacker out of Georgia at pick 28. The Seahawks are on the clock at 29. What a great season for Seattle. Center, guard, linebacker, and cornerback positions in need. This defense is dope. Brandon Cease right here out of South Carolina playing really good, but Avion Terrell would be my selection out of Clemson. Ranked 2 spots behind. Avion Terrell, you are a Seattle Seahawk. Get inside that defense. Reek Woolen, we don't know what's going on with him, but this will absolutely help a strength that is the Seattle Seahawks defense. The Jets are on the clock here at pick 30, and in round 1, they went Fernando Mendoza in round 1. And I think right here in round 2, they get Fernando Mendoza some help. You've got Garrett Wilson currently on IR right now with his knee injury that he suffered. So we'll see how that plays out. But G-Dub on IR right now. I think if you go quarterback early, I'd love him to get his boy Omar Cooper a little bit later. But Denzel Boston's on the board. A bigger and a different archetype of receiver than Garrett Wilson, and Adnan Mitchell ain't it. So right here, get Fernando Mendoza a weapon. Denzel Boston out of Washington is a Jet at pick 30. And now you got the last 2 picks. You've got the New England Patriots and the Philadelphia Eagles. Philly's on the clock. Wide receiver, guard, edge rusher, and cornerback positions of need. They're probably going to lose A.J. Brown potentially. Edge rusher, they had to go bring Brandon Graham back out of retirement. Guard, they're hurt up front. They're hurting up front right now. So let's look at the tackles. You got Jennings Dunker out of Iowa. You got Caleb Lomu out of Utah. The other lineman, Blake Miller, also a very good tackle right here. And, right now, Lane Johnson, a little bit older at this stage. I don't think you take a receiver here. Guard, I guess you can do that. Let's go take a look at the edge rushers quickly. Let's take a look at the edge rushers. LT Overton, R. Mason Thomas, Matayo Uiagalelei. I like him a lot. Zion Young is good. I think we go edge rusher right here for Philadelphia. They brought in Jalen Phillips. They got Brandon Graham back, but that doesn't stop there. R. Mason Thomas out of Oklahoma. Hurries, sacks, pressures, 6'2", 249. Does that fit the Howie Roseman type? Or do you want LT Overton, 6'5", 278 pounds? Matayo Uiagalelei might actually be a better fit, 6'5", 272. Let's roll Matayo Uiagalelei right here for the Philadelphia Eagles edge rusher at 31. Now the Pats are on the clock, 32, guard, tackle, edge rusher, cornerback positions of need. Protect your boy Drake May. Get him some more weapons. I think they're good here. I think they're in a spot where they can just take best available player on the board, and there still are some very good players on the board for New England to pick from. We are not going to go receiver because that's the fine. Oh, yeah, just get a receiver for Drake May. No, he's fine. Let's continue to build this team out. I think right here at this spot, Christian Gonzalez on the outside, maybe not I think LT Overton or R. Mason Thomas in New England would be a good fit. I think either of those guys, if you want to take the tackle out of Iowa and figure out what to do with him once you get him in the building, you can do that as well. A.J. Harris at corner is nice as well. Let's give them, you can never have too many pass rushers, right? You can never have too many pass rushers. R. Mason Thomas out of Oklahoma, come on down. You are a New England Patriot. So there it is. Round 1, 2026 mock draft right here, done by yours truly. We got Arvell Reese coming off of the board. Rueben Bain, Fernando Mendoza to the Jets. Caleb Downs goes to the Giants. Jordyn Tyson, wide receiver out of Arizona State, to Cleveland. We've got Ty Simpson, Spencer Fano, Keldric, Faulk, David Bailey, and Mansoor Delane as your top 10 picks. Makai Lemon goes to the Arizona Cardinals at 11. Sonny Styles goes to Dallas at 12. Peter Woods, Caden Proctor, Vega Ione, and Carnell Tate round out the first 16 picks. Jeremiyah Love goes to the Kansas City Chiefs. Francis Mauigoa goes to the San Francisco 49ers. Jermon McCoy, cornerback out of Tennessee, goes to Cleveland. Casey Concepcion goes to Pittsburgh. I feel good about these first 20 picks. Cassius Howell feels good in Dallas. Caleb Banks in Chicago. TJ Parker to Buffalo. Kenyon Sadiq to Tampa Bay. This is a good mock. Caden McDonald to the Detroit Lions. Romello Height to the Chargers. Chris Bell to L.A. C.J. Allen to Denver. Avion Terrell to Seattle. Denzel Boston to the Jets. Matayo Uiagalelei to the Philadelphia Eagles. And R. Mason Thomas to the Pats. It's a mock right here. I like this one. Baltimore getting Peter Woods feels like a really good fit. Makai Lemon, maybe a little earlier than people thought, but I think that's a nice one. Chris Bell, maybe a luxury pick by the Rams at 27. I like this mock. Let me know what y'all think about this one, but I think we got a damn good mock right here. And we'll do this more often as we talk all things NFL draft, college football, fantasy football, NFL, all that good stuff. So there it is. Check out all the other content on the channel. I appreciate y'all pulling up. Y'all stuck around to the end of the video. Show some love. Hit the thumbs up button. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and check out everything else that we do right here on the channel. Y'all have a great weekend. Enjoy week 11 of the NFL and week 12 of the college football landscape. And I'll see y'all real soon next time. I'm out. Peace.